I have so many memories of this game. The excitement I had to play Ocarina of Time was almost too overwhelming for my poor little heart to contain. But before long, I began my journey to the various dungeons and boss fights of this amazing game. This game left a deep impression in me and elevated my love for video games. I played this game religiously in my youth. This is the game that made me fall in love with the Legend of Zelda series, and I've played every game since. So I wondered, does this game still hold a special place in my heart? Let's begin a nostalgic playthrough of The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. We get woken up abruptly by Navi when we are having an amazing dream. She tells us the Great Deku Tree has summoned us, so we leave and talk to our friend Soraya, who doesn't really have any useful information, though the way to the Deku Tree is blocked by this douchebag named Mido, who tells us to find a sword and shield. So we go into this crawl space with a sentient boulder intent on crushing us, where we find the Kokiri sword. So we go to Mido's house and steal his money from his chests. And then we scrounge up the remainder of the 40 rupees we need to buy the Deku shield. We show Mido that we have a sword and shield, and he moves aside, and we have a short conversation with the old Deku Tree, who opens his mouth so we can cure his stomachache. Inside is filled with Deku Babas and Skulltulas. Some Deku Scrubs try to block our way on many occasions, but they are easily defeated, and we find a slingshot hidden in the tree. We burn webs and crush spiders, and we uncover the lowest depths in the Deku Tree, where we stop 3 Deku Scrubs, who then unblock the way to the dungeon's boss, Goma, a single-eyed, wall-climbing, egg-laying arachnid. We shoot her in the eye and stun her, then lay into her till she is defeated, where she drops a heart container, and we step into the glowing light. We teleport outside and have another conversation with the Great Deku Tree, who gives us the Kokiri Emerald, but even though we were successful, he was already doomed, and withers away after telling us to seek out Princess Zelda. We heed his words and leave Kokiri Forest, where Soraya stops us on a bridge and gives us an ocarina as a token of friendship. We skip this owl's dialogue and make our way to Hyrule Castle Town, where we play a slingshot minigame for a bullet seed bag upgrade and buy a Hylian shield. We talk to this girl who gives us a chicken egg and wake this old man up with the rooster that hatches from the egg. We push these milk crates and then enter Hyrule Castle. We stealthily sneak past these underpaid guards and meet Princess Zelda. We have a long conversation about gods and legends when she asks us to peer at this man through this window. She reveals this man is Ganondorf, a powerful sorcerer who seeks to claim the world. She hands over a letter with her autograph, and we go and talk to Impa, who teaches us Zelda's lullaby and escorts us out of the castle, and mentions we should probably head to her hometown, Kakariko Village, and travel up Death Mountain. We, however, ignore her, of course, and head to Lon Lon Ranch instead, and play a chicken catching minigame with Talon, who rewards us with a bottle, and learn Epona song from Malon. We also find a piece of heart in a silo, and then we head to Kakariko Village. We squash some spiders around the village, side hop off this tower to this roof and get a piece of heart from this guy, and gather up some chickens for this lady who gives us another bottle. We then trek up Death Mountain and arrive to Goron City. We make our way to the bottom and talk to the leader of the Gorons, who's in a bad mood because Ganondorf has been a naughty man and blocked the entrance to Dodongo's cavern, and the Gorons are now starving because they're too lazy to break apart a rock. So we light these torches and blow up these boulders blocking the way to the Lost Woods. We take a detour and shoot this target 3 times, and a Deku Scrub gives us the final bullet seed bag upgrade. Then we make our way to the Sacred Forest Meadow, where we find Soraya, and she teaches us Soraya's song. We head back to Goron City and cheer up Darunia, who can't help himself but to dance after hearing the song. He gives us jewelry, and we go back outside and hurl a bomb flower off a cliff, blowing up the boulder, blocking the entrance to Dodongo's cavern. We break our ankles jumping off the cliff to take another piece of heart before entering the dungeon. We use bomb flowers to blow up blocked corridors and avoid lava pits. The cavern is filled with fire keys, Beamos, and Dodongos. We make our way through the lower floors and fight a duo of Lizalfos. Then we step on a switch opening a barred door. We use a bomb flower to blow up more that are lining these stairs, lowering them so we can reach the second floor. We solve iSwitch puzzles and fight another pair of Lizalfos who guard a chest holding actual bombs. We bomb the eyes of the big Dodongo skull and enter solving puzzles and enter the boss door. We fall down into this pit and face off against the massive King Dodongo, throwing bombs in his gullet and slashing him when they explode. We defeat him pretty easily and he rolls into the middle of the lava pit and melts away. We collect the heart container and step into the glowing light. We are transported outside and have a conversation with Irunia, who then gives us the Goron's Ruby. Now that we have bombs, we trek to the very top of Death Mountain and head into Death Mountain Crater, where we collect a piece of heart and a golden Skulltula token. We head back out and blow up this wall and talk to the Great Fairy, who upgrades our spin attack with magic. We talk to the owl, who takes us back to Kakariko Village, dropping us on this house, and we drop down into the side entrance and collect another piece of heart. Now that we have 10 golden Skulltula tokens, we head into the spider house and receive an adult's wallet, letting us carry more money. We begin making our way to Zora's domain, trekking through Zora's River. We collect a couple of heart pieces along the way before playing Zelda's Lullaby in front of the waterfall, gaining entrance to Zora's domain. We go to the top of the waterfall and talk to a Zora and play his diving minigame. We collect the rupees, winning the game, and catch a fish in a bottle. We head back up to the Zora and he gives us a silver scale, allowing us to dive deeper. We light these torches, revealing another chest to gain another piece of heart. We dive down to this cave and emerge at Lake Hylia. We dive again to get this bottle which has a letter in it, and we take it to King Zora, and he slides aside. We step into Zora's fountain and we see a large fish the king called Lord Jabu Jabu, but we take a detour. We head to this mountainside and blow up the wall to reveal a hidden fairy fountain. The Great Fairy gives us Furor's Wind, a teleportation spell. We then release our captured fish in front of Lord Jabu Jabu, and he eats us. Inside, Lord Jabu Jabu is filled with octoroks, harmful bubbles, electric jellyfish, and weird manta rays. We find the person we are looking for, Princess Ruto, and she falls down a strange pit. We go after her and she agrees to let us carry her to look for her precious Zora Sapphire. We solve puzzles, push switches, and find a boomerang inside Jabu Jabu's gut. We finally find Princess Ruto's Zora Sapphire and toss her to claim it, but she gets captured, of course, and we have to fight a massive octorok. We dispatch the giant squid and make our way through the rest of Jabu to fight Baronade, a huge electrified sea anemone who controls the mini barrier around it. We face off against this creature using our boomerang to stun him. We defeat him and rescue Princess Ruto, who gives us Zora's Sapphire. We race back to Hyrule Castle to let Princess know we were successful, but the drawbridge is strong and a scene plays out. We jump in the moat and acquire the Ocarina of Time and see a vision of Princess Zelda who teaches us the Song of Time. We take a detour to Hyrule Castle and blow up this boulder and enter, talk to the Great Fairy who gives us Din's Fire. We then head to the Temple of Time and play the Song of Time in front of the Altar of Time, opening the Door of Time, where we take the Master Sword from its pedestal, and Ganondorf briefly appears. We wake up in a strange place and speak to an old man named Rauru, who explains we have been sealed in the Chamber of Sages for 7 years and have grown up. We exit the Chamber of Sages and are met by Sheik, a member of the Sheikah clan, and explains we must awaken the rest of the sages and that we should head to Kakariko Village. However, we decide to go to Lon Lon Ranch first. We find out it's been taken over by Ingo, who used to work for Talon. He lets us ride a horse, but we use Epona's song to call Epona. After a while, Ingo asks to race us, and if we win, we can keep the horse. We race around the pasture and win twice. Ingo lies to us by trapping us inside the ranch, but we easily jump the wall with Epona. With Epona and Malon now rescued, we head to Kakariko Village. We talk to the chicken lady and she gives us another egg, then head off to the graveyard. We stand in front of this tombstone and play Zelda's lullaby. Lightning strikes and destroys the tombstone, and we delve into the grave. It's filled with keys and redeads, but we sidestep around the redeads and find a plaque with a song composed on it, and learn the Sun Song. We exit out and pull another gravestone and fall into Dompe the Gravekeeper's grave and race him throughout his underground labyrinth, where he gives us a hookshot as a reward. We play the Song of Time to remove this block and jump from the central platform to get a piece of heart. Show this man our ocarina and he teaches us the Song of Storms. After we leave the windmill, we play the Sun Song to turn night to day to hatch the chicken egg and enter this house where Talon is fast asleep. We wake him up and he thanks us for rescuing his daughter and his ranch. We show the chicken to the chicken lady and she gives us a blue chicken named Kojiro. We leave Kakariko and ride Epona to our old home, Kokiri Forest, and venture into the Lost Woods where we find Mido once again blocking the way we need to go. So we play him Soraya's song and he steps away mentioning we look like someone he used to know. We make our way to the Sacred Forest Meadow and fight some moblins guarding the way to the Forest Temple. Sheik appears and teaches us the Minuet of Forest. We enter the Forest Temple and we fight some wolfos and head into the main chamber where 4 Poes steal the flames from the torches and lock the elevator. This place is filled with wolfos, skulltulas, and tough enemies called Stalfos, which usually show up in pairs. We find various keys and solve a tricky puzzle where you have to lower the water in the well and push blocks around a small maze. We enter a twisted corridor and head down some stairs with paintings lining the walls to enter a room and fight some Stalfos. With the foes defeated, we open the chest and get the bow. We go back to the previous room and shoot the paintings on the walls, and a Poe appears whom we defeat. We go to another staircase and shoot more pictures to fight another Poe. And then we backtrack to the block-pushing maze where we shoot this ice switch, untwisting the hallway, and we gain the boss key, and we continue on solving various puzzles, and we find and defeat the last 2 Poes to unlock the elevator and spin the wall to unblock our way to the boss door. We enter the boss arena and fight Phantom Ganon, a shadow puppet made by Ganondorf. He flies into the pictures around the room and we fire arrows at him. When he dismounts, we hit his energy balls that he fires back at him and stun him, and we defeat him pretty easily. We take the heart container and exit through the blue light where we are transported to the Chamber of Sages and have a conversation with our old friend Soraya, who gives us the Forest Medallion. We are teleported in front of the withered Great Deku Tree and talk to his Sproutling and tells us of our mother and her fate, and that we are actually a Hylian, not a Kokiri. We head back through the Lost Woods and show this man Kojiro, who gives us a mushroom in turn to take it to the hag in Kakariko Village for medicine. We take the mushroom to the hag, play the archery minigame for a quiver upgrade, and return to the man, but he is nowhere to be seen. But a Kokiri girl stands in his place. He mentioned he turned into a Stalfos and asks for the medicine, and she gives us a saw. We leave Kokiri Forest and head back to the Temple of Time where Sheik teaches us the Prelude of Light, and return back into a kid and head back to Kakariko Village and play the song to the man in the windmill. The windmill spins faster and faster and it lowers the water in the well. This place is creepy as hell. No pun intended. I was so scared exploring this place as a kid, I rarely came here, avoiding getting the Lens of Truth altogether. But that's why we're here, to get the Lens of Truth, and it doesn't take very long. We lower the water and fight the dead hand and acquire the lens, and then we leave this godforsaken place. We warp to the Temple of Time and grow up again and head to Goron City on Death Mountain. All of the Gorons are gone except one who's rolling around. We stop him by blowing up a bomb flower next to him, and he reveals his name is also Link, and that Ganondorf has kidnapped the other Gorons, imprisoning them in the fire temple to feed them to a dragon named Volvagia. That I have no idea how to pronounce that dragon's name. If anyone knows how to pronounce it, just let the world know. He gives us a red heat-resistant tunic, and we can pull the statue in Darunia's room, revealing a path to the Death Mountain crater. We cross the gap, and Sheik appears, teaching us the Bolero of Fire. We head down into the Fire Temple and head off to the door on the left, where we encounter Darunia. He states he's going to fight the dragon, though he's unsure he'll be successful without the Megaton Hammer, and that we should rescue the captured Gorons. And we do just that, freeing every single Goron we come across in this dungeon. We climb to the top of the dungeon, where a slim circular staircase leads to a chest, which contains the Megaton Hammer. We save this Goron and plunge our hammer down on this pillar, dislodging it, and fall into the room where we talk to Darunia. We use our last key to unlock this door hidden behind a statue and fight through this enemy gauntlet, taking out fire keys, flame slugs, a like, and a flame dancer to rescue the final Goron and take the boss key from his chest. We then take the fight to Volvagia, slamming him in the head with the hammer and slicing his face until he bursts into flames, leaving behind a heart container. We step into the glowing light and are transported once again to the Chamber of Sages and have a conversation with Darunia, who gives us the fire medallion. Then we are transported back to Death Mountain Crater, where we head to this opening blocked by 2 boulders and smash them to talk to another great fairy who increases our magic meter. We exit and head to Gerudo Desert and jump across the bridge with Epona and give the saw to this old man, who gives us a broken Goron's knife. We find a hidden grotto between these 2 gates and get a heart piece from this business scrub, and we warp back to Death Mountain Crater to make our way to the top and show Big Goron our broken Goron knife, and he says he can fix it if we get him some eye drops from King Zora, so he gives us a prescription. With that, we head through Zora's River to Zora's domain and find it completely frozen over. We head up Zora's fountain, spying the frozen King Zora, and Jabu Jabu is missing. We jump from ice flow to ice flow, collecting a piece of heart, and enter the ice cavern. We explore the frozen cavern, solving puzzles, collecting blue fire, and felling Freezards. We collect a piece of heart encased in red ice and face off against a white Wolfos, and collect the iron boots from the chest. Sheik appears once again and teaches us the Serenade of Water. We exit the cavern and use our boots to sink down to the bottom of Zora's fountain to collect a piece of heart. Then go unfreeze King Zora, who gives us a blue Zora tunic. Now we can breathe underwater. But before we head to the water temple, we hand King Zora the prescription. He gives us an eyeball frog to take to the old scientist in Lake Hylia, who can turn it into the eye drops that Big Goron needs. We jump on Epona and speed to Lake Hylia. We hand over the frog and he hands over the eye drops. We speed our way to Kokiri Forest and take the shortcut to Goron City. From there we make our way through Death Mountain Crater to the top of Death Mountain and hand over the eye drops to Big Goron. Whew, that was a lot of running. Big Goron gives us the claim check and asks us to wait 3 days for a fantastic sword. We use the Sun Song and 3 days flyby. Big Goron gives us Big Goron sword, a 2-handed sword that packs quite a punch. We use our ocarina to warp to Lake Hylia and use our hook shot to enter the water temple. I'm just going to speed through this, as this temple it kinda sucks. We sink to the bottom and run into Princess Ruto, who explains that an evil spirit has taken over the temple. We lower the water level and explore the branching paths of this temple, rising and lowering the water as need be. We enter this room that looks like an island paradise and face off against the coolest mini-boss in Zelda history, Shadow Link. We defeat our dark selves, who was guarding the long shot, an upgrade to our hook shot, and we continue exploring the temple and finally make our way to the temple's evil boss, Morpha. With the Big Goron sword, we make quick work of this boss and collect the heart container before stepping in the glowing light. We are transported to the Chamber of Sages and have a heated conversation with Ruto, who's mad at Link for being gone so long. But she calms down and gives us the water medallion, and we are transported into the giant tree. As the water rises, we spy Sheik and have a brief conversation before they disappear as usual. We shoot an arrow at the rising sun and collect the fire arrows. They will prove useful much later. We decide to head to Kakariko Village to find the village is being attacked by an invisible adversary who attacks Sheik and Link. Sheik explains that the monster is in the Shadow Temple and Impa went to try and seal it again. Sheik begs us to go help Impa and teaches us the Nocturne of Shadow, which we play and use Din's fire to open the entrance to the Shadow Temple. I shudder every time I have to go here. Even as an adult, this place creeps me the hell out. It's mostly due to the horrifying music. The dungeon itself, though, is probably the best dungeon in the whole game, really. The puzzles are unique, and the atmosphere, although creepy, is perfect, and the lore of the ancient Hyrule is spread throughout this dungeon. So, we explore this giant death house and walk through walls, finding the dead hand and felling it to obtain the hover boots. We continue solving puzzles such as this, where you have to point the beak to the right skull, and this one where you have to use iron boots to get past fans. We use a stone block as an umbrella to get past the spike traps and collect a handful of silver rupees to unlock doors. We find a massive boat in the depths of the dungeon and play Zelda's lullaby on the Triforce symbol, and the boat sails down a river of souls. We take out a few Stalfos and blow up this statue to make a bridge and explore this maze with invisible walls to enter the various other rooms to find the boss key. We head off to face Bongo Bongo, the evil creature of ancient Hyrule. We use the bow to fire at his palms and use the lens of truth to see his invisible eye and shoot it to stun him, and with the big Goron sword he goes down in no time. We step into the glowing light and are transported to the Chamber of Sages and talk to Impa, who gives us the Shadow Medallion. Only one more medallion to go before we fight Ganondorf, the King of Evil. Back in the graveyard, we use our long shot to get this piece of heart and get a large wallet from the guy in the spider house since we have collected 30 tokens, and warp back to the Temple of Time to turn back into a child. We collect a ton of stuff to prepare fighting Ganondorf. We haven't even went to the Spirit Temple yet, but I thought now was a good time to collect easy heart pieces and other items. We buy and plant magic beans and collect the heart pieces you can as an adult when the plants are fully grown. We fish as an adult to collect the golden scale. We collect even more pieces of heart and have plenty of health, 17 hearts to be in fact, and head to Gerudo Desert and begin making our way through the fortress. We collect another piece of heart in the chest on top of the fortress. We find and rescue the 4 carpenters who were imprisoned fighting off the guards and are given a membership card showing we're part of the Gerudo Thieves now. We call Epona and play horseback archery twice, once for a piece of heart and the next for the final quiver upgrade. We make our way through the desert, following flag posts and a ghost. We make our way to the Desert Colossus. Before entering, we blow up this wall and enter the cave to speak to the Great Fairy, who gives us Neru's love. We exit and head into the Spirit Temple, but we are blocked off and can't progress, so we leave. Sheik appears and teaches us the Requiem of Spirit and suggests we return as a child. We do just that. We enter the temple and talk to Naburu, who's trying to sneak into the small hole. We have a brief conversation about us stealing the silver gauntlets for her, and she lets us pass. We explore the temple, solving the various puzzles, such as collecting silver rupees, and this elaborate room where you have to light torches and push a sun block into a beam of light, and at the top of the temple, face off against an Iron Knuckle, the strongest normal enemy in the entire game. We emerge victorious and find the silver gauntlets. A scene plays out as Naburu is captured by the 2 old witches. We return to the temple as an adult and push this massive block that was blocking our way before and continue to explore the many rooms, solving more puzzles and collecting keys. We find our way to another Iron Knuckle fight, and it goes down easily. And we open the chest it was guarding to get the mirror shield. Using the shield, we solve many light-based puzzles, such as this one where we have to turn the big mirrors and shine the light on the statue, revealing the boss room. We enter and the 2 witches are waiting for us and have us fight the Iron Knuckle in the room. We defeat the enemy and their armor falls off, revealing Naburu, who had been captured and brainwashed by the witches. They capture her again and we proceed to fight the witches in the next room. We use our mirror shield to reflect their magic back at them, and after enough damage is done, they merge into one powerful sorceress. We charge up our mirror shield and blast the magic back at her to stun her, and with the big Goron sword finish her off quickly. The 2 witches argue as they pass away, and we collect the heart container and step into the glowing light where we have a conversation with Naburu, who gives us the final medallion, the Spirit Medallion, and Narauru states we should head to the Temple of Time to make our way to Ganon's Tower. We enter the Temple of Time and Sheik appears after a brief conversation. They reveal they are Zelda, before giving us the light arrows. Suddenly the temple begins to quake and Ganondorf's voice echoes throughout the temple and Zelda is captured. We race to Ganon's Tower to face off against the King of Evil. We arrive at the tower and the sages construct a rainbow bridge. We cross and enter and we notice a strong barrier is blocking the main way forward, so we head off to each door with an emblem on it. We first head to the Shadow Trial and get the golden gauntlets and finish the trial before heading back out to unblock this cave and talk to the Great Fairy, who upgrades our defenses. We head back in and do the forest trial next, then the water trial. We solve the fire trial and the light trial. We finish the spirit trial last and dispel the barrier leading deeper into the tower. Climbing up the many floors, we fight Dinoflows and Stalfos. We face off against a duo of Iron Knuckles, but we fight one at a time before finally reaching Ganondorf. He attempts to drop us to the floor below by destroying the floor. He begins throwing magic at us and we reflect it back at him with the Master Sword. When his magic stuns him, we fire a light arrow at him, so he falls and we slash at him until he is defeated. He uses the last of his strength to try to collapse the whole tower down on us, and we escape with Zelda. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Ocarina of Time is one of my all-time favorite Zelda games, but I have played it so much I often get bored of playing it now. But after this playthrough, I have realized that this is the game that made me really fall in love with video games, and it will forever hold a special place in my heart. I have more nostalgic games coming in the future, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. We also have a full Let's Play of Majora's Mask on the main channel you should check out as well. Just click on the link here and have a watch. That's it from me. Thank you guys once again for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.